It's crunch time here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We're here for the finale of DRL DTM, and unfortunately we've had the first 30 minutes of the race cut due to some technical issues, but we're here with the second half of the race, hence the rolling start. It was Off Apple who managed to get up into first off the grid, King of Talk up in second, both Ushidara third. We're currently red, the lights will go green shortly. Green, 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 and the cars are off. King slots into the slipstream of Apple as they make their way down towards turn 1. John Wandering taking a slightly different line in the back there. Those three seem to have dropped back a bit off the line, but Off Apple leads into turn 1. Seeming to take a bit of a tighter line as King's having to defend a bit from Bo. So a relatively clean start, it would seem. Maybe a bit of miscommunication a bit further back in the field. As that's Gugus going off. So Gugus certainly not having the best of starts off in the gravel. We're going to have a replay of the start from Waddle's perspective. Waddle's of course one of 3 people still in the championship fight. Here, so he slowed down, and that's probably just because he couldn't overtake John Wandering past the line, and then Buick ends up overtaking him and then slots back, realizing that it's the same thing. Meanwhile, Gugus' perspective, you can see making up a bit of time through the first chicane, so good work, but then gets his wheels on the grass. That's not going to help his car through here, and indeed just understeers off, and then the snap comes and into the gravel he goes. That's going to drop him down to last. So Waddle's still in the championship fight, needs to finish ahead of Apple in order to win the championship. He's trying to make a move here on Buick. Nice and easy done down the inside on the GP circuit. Now he's going to be hunting down John Wandering, but Buick looking to perhaps come back at him. Waddle's going defensive. He'll try and get the slipstream on the run down to the chicane. It looks like he's just about managed to fend him off for now, as Gugus also looking to capitalize down the inside. Good stuff, but it looks like they ran a bit deep, and indeed there's contact. Gugus nearly sent into the wall, but Buick retains that position, but they're still going at it. These 4 getting very, very close together on track. Gugus side by side with Buick. Looks like they just about get ahead. That R8 does look a bit unstable through the elevation changes. These guys right on their limits. Waddle's trying to frantically get past John Wandering. He knows he needs to get past him fast in order to capitalize, but no! Gugus gets past because of a mistake from Waddles in trying to get past John Wandering. So Waddles will be kicking himself, and now there's a Mercedes roadblock as they head up towards the Flugplatz for the first time. Gugus managing to get up into 4th from that, so Gugus doing a fantastic job through that little section, but they still have Waddles all over the back of them. Waddles really desperate to get up the order and close the gap down to Apple. The championship is at stake, of course. Gugus doing well, coming up towards Arenberg. Nice smooth line through there, not running it too wide, and seeming to just be faster than Waddles through that section, so he's starting to break a bit of a gap. Meanwhile, Apple's still leading at this particular stage. King of Talk still staying with him. If King of Talk was to win this race and Apple to finish 3rd or lower, then King of Talk would actually be the champion. So again, King of Talk still with a shot of the championship. He's been winning a lot of races recently. Apple trying his best to keep King behind him. That's a little bit of a slip through that section, but keeping his composure at this stage. King not thinking of making a stupid move down the inside at this particular stage. It's very, very risky to do so, and that's King off to the outside, seeming to just run out of room, and Apple's waiting up for him. He's gonna, oh no, and that's Bo running into the back of Apple. Apple trying to move off of the racing line, didn't see Bo coming, and there's absolute chaos as now Gugus has got involved in that. Waddle's having to take to the grass. And Apple causing absolute mayhem, but pure accidental. But it's absolute carnage at the moment. John Wanderer is off in the background. The RBZ and Gugus both take to the grass as Gugus gives RBZ a punt. That sends them off into the wall. So many cars must have picked up damage from that. Really unfortunate stuff for Apple. So that's really going to hurt his chances at winning this championship. Meanwhile, that's allowed Bo to capitalise. He seemed to avoid the incidents that happened, so he's got a bit of a gap. King still in second, but how much longer? He's in the wall, and so's his teammate Waddle, so they would have picked up territory. Gugus speared off to the inside wall. He's still trying to catch up, still trying to make ground. Gugus has been looking quite strong here so far, despite that mistake. Both just exiting the carousel. King in second, still going through it, exiting now. And then this little scrap going on. Google's looking a bit optimistic to the inside of the carousel. But now it's going to be a case, can Waddles hold back Apple? These two, of course, still in the championship fight. Waddles needs to finish ahead of Apple to win the championship. But still needs to finish at least second. We're going on board with Gugus' car as they make their way through the downhill section. Extremely fast and flowing. Plenty of elevation change as well. These guys on their limits. And then a little bit beyond us, Gugus takes a bit of the grass. Again, seems to be part of his driving style, is taking a little bit of that grass. So, managing to keep it on the road at the moment. Still extremely close stuff for 3rd, 4th and 5th at this stage. Apple frantically trying to get ahead of Waddles. So they're making their way over the little jump and avoiding the gravel trap, so well done. Apple just seemed to be super glued to the back of Waddles at this stage, almost giving them a bit of a bump draft as they come through. Bit of a gap now as Gugus runs a fair bit onto the grass, kicking up a lot of dirt. That's not going to help them breaking through here. And there's more contact between the two championship rivals. That sent them both off. Apple again waiting to let Waddles go through. And that's allowing John Wanderer to catch up to this as well. So these two probably both have damage at this stage as well, so that's really gonna set them back. Apple having to slow into the slipstream. John Wanderer just about within that slipstream range as well, it would seem. You also see the Saxton Audi of Buick in the background as well. Apple pulls out to the side, they're going to be side by side down the straight. Meanwhile, we're having a replay of what happened with Bo and King of Torque. And Bo really loses it, gets airborne over the curb. And do they just about hang on to it? No, they don't. King manages to get up into first place where he needs to be in order to take this championship. So King right where he needs to be, but no, he's ran wide and he's span it and into the wall. Bo's gone through. Oh, and it's an absolute nightmare as he has to do a 3-point turn. Gugus goes through. How much time has King lost through all of that? That's really going to hurt his chances. So all three of the championship contenders making mistakes and having setbacks. Meanwhile, this guy, Bo Fushidara, currently in the lead of things, making their way up towards the hairpin before carousel. Very, very fast stuff. Those Mercedes currently 1 and 2 at this stage. This is the Kendrick's Tea and Coffee machine, of course, of Team Northbrooks Racing. And then the Rossi Grand Prix car of Gugas just behind the Martini sponsored car. Oh, just getting the carousel a bit wrong, and they ran onto the grass and they're in the wall. That's going to be heavy damage for them, and nearly on the rejoin. King just squeezed off into the grass, but manages to have a little bit of space. So King up into second from that. Meanwhile, Buick completely loses it. They hit the back against the wall. That's going to probably give them engine damage in that mid-engine R8. And now King has managed to catch back up to Bo in just about the section where he managed to get past on the last attempt, the last lap. So Bo needs to be doing a lot better than he was on that other occasion. Indeed, keeps it on the road. Doesn't go airborne on this occasion. Bo doing a good job just holding the racing line, holding his nerve. King using quite a lot of the exit curve, but not quite in the gravel, so well done to them. And in fact, it looks like King's just about managed to get alongside. Have they? No, not quite. Maybe just sort of backed out of it. We're going on board with King's car, as they will definitely be in the slipstream range of Bo and should have a relatively simple move. It's a question of will Bo be able to retaliate. Although the Mercedes very strong on a straight line, it's taken the BMW quite a while to get the kind of speed that it needs to pull alongside. You also see Apple in the background, who's up into fourth. And then Gugas as well, but it's between these two at this stage, Bo and King, making their way through the last little section of the course. So easy to get wrong. Again, different lines being taken by these two. King looking to get a bit of a better exit onto this following straight as they come up to complete lap 2. King all in that juicy slipstream. He's looking to the outside, but he's going to get a cutback, but it'll be the outside for the next section. There's contact between the two. The Mercedes seems to have the drive off the corner and stays ahead for now. Well, it looked like King might have tried to look for a cheeky move up the inside. Didn't on that occasion. Now going back on board with King of Torque. So make their way down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. Plenty of banking there. He's going to try around the outside, use that banking. Try a bit of a cutback, hasn't quite worked out. You get a good run through the Schumacher S. We're about to see. It's right on the back of him. And this is allowing Gugas to catch up quite a lot. He's going down the inside. There's contact, so it's a bit risky. He's going to have the outside through here, but it looks like Bo has to concede. And King of Torque is back up into first place. Meanwhile, Gugas catching up to the back of Bo, and Apple also catching both of these. Sparks as they make their way through the compression. So there you see the gap between these four. Bo having to defend. Gugas all over the grass again, but doesn't spin out. So, battle of the Mercedes commences yet again. Gugas doing a very good job on that recovery drive, currently sits third. And he's starting to really close up to the back of Bo's car now, but we've got to think of the dirty air as well, that will be having an effect. Extremely close. Now going for a bit of an aerial shot, it would seem. As there's a mistake from Bo, and Bo's in the wall. Bo is in the wall, and that's gonna... Let's have a replay of this. So what exactly happened with Bo? He just ran wide into the barrier, and whew, that nearly clipped the back of Gugas on the rejoin. That's gonna be severe damage for Bo's car. That's probably gonna take them out of contention for this win. Meanwhile, Waddle's coming through. They're currently 5th. Yellow flags out. We're not seeing Waddles. What's happened? There he is. So Waddles has got it wrong at the bridge. So that's his chances falling away as we speak. Really unfortunate stuff for Waddles here. John Wandering coming up. He's on the grass and he spins again. So things have gone from bad to worse for Waddles. Really unfortunate. Right when he didn't need it as well. And now Apple's closed up to the back of Gugus. What's Apple gonna do? Coming up towards Carousel, so it's probably going to be single file. But we have seen Gugus try and move down the inside here before. Again, different line, seeming to be a bit of a later apex. So the Crown Plaza car still within this championship fight. All he needs to do is get ahead of Gugus, and even with King taking the win, he will have the championship sewn up by 1 point. That's all it takes as Gugus makes a mistake. So it allows him to close up all the more his purple through this sector. Again, Gugus starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Not using all the track width, just trying to regain his rhythm. Again, it's all about rhythm as you go through this downhill section. You're going to carry the speed. Oh, Apple gets a smidge of oversteer. But doesn't lose it. Oh, nearly again. On the curb. I'm just sort of kicking up a bit of dust. There you also see Bo's car in the back. These two extremely close yet again, now heading towards the jump. Still extremely close. Apple taking a chunk of the grass, perhaps following one of Gugus' lines. Was there a bit of a lock up from the Martini car? Manages to keep it on track. Bit of smoke being kicked up by it, that's for sure. Coming through the mini carousel. Again, Gugus runs a bit wide. Apple taking the concrete section, and he's just about going to manage to be in the slipstream range, but we've seen how difficult it is to pass one of the marks on the straights from King's example earlier. We're going to see what happens as they come under the Audi Sport bridge onto the Dottinger Hoa. It goes to the inside, just about alongside Bolt. Still could be in with a shot of the podium from that far back. Still probably another lap to go after this one. Apple just about ahead, just by a nose, but they're still side by side going under the Bilstein Bridge. It's going to be a case of who backs out first, and it looks like it was Gugus that backed out. Apple's up into second, and that's all he needs at this stage. But Gugus is still going to try and fight it back. He puts it in the barrier, just a bit of a scrape. Nothing too mechanical. Now going a bit further around the GP loop on lap 4. Just trying to follow in the slipstream of Apple. Oh, and nearly hits the back of him, and he's in the gravel. And he gets reset. So Gugus gets reset, and that's going to really put the nail in the coffin. And Bo's now going down the inside and pretty much runs Gugus off the track a little bit. But Bo is now up into third. So these two Mercedes drivers still going at it further round the lap. Gugus trying to get back on the podium. He's managed to find a bit of room on the outside, but has to back out. Again, it's so risky to try any overtaking on the Nordschleife loop. And again, oh, there's a bit of contact again, and that's put Bo in the wall. So Bo back in the wall, and Gugus seeming to slow down. Again, very sporting, just to let Bo back through after the contact. So we'll still be trying to find a way past. Of course, Bo's car might still be suffering from a bit of the damage at this stage. It's all over the back of him. Going on board with the Martini car. Again, extremely risky to run that much curve and nearly going to the outside grass. Now, not really closing up under braking, but Bo's ran wide, and Gugas seeming to get a far better exit. And again, oh, a little bit of contact, and Gugas is going down the inside of the carousel. They're side by side through there. Absolute insanity. It doesn't work out on this occasion. We're going to have a replay of this. What did it look like from the outside? You can really see side by side through the carousel. Fantastic racing between these guys. But it is going to be King of Torque who comes up towards the line now, doing a celebratory weaving. Congratulations to King of Torque, who was our race winner here at the Nürburgring. But it is going to be this guy off Apple who will come home in second, and indeed will take the championship from King of Torque by 1 point. Absolute unbelievable scenes here at Nürburgring. What a fantastic season it's been all along. In the end, it is the Crown Plaza car that stands on top. Bo will come home in third, just ahead of Gugas, and John Wandering will come home in fifth. So, what a season it has been, but it is this guy who stands on top off Apple. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Nuke Shot Motorsport on this achievement. Car 9 stands on top of the podium. Here is the driver standings at the end of the season then. So it's off Apple on 69 points, 1 point clear of King of Torque in second, and Waddles will actually end up taking third on 46 points. So extremely close at the top. Again, extremely close through the midfield. 3 cars fighting for 10th. The team standings, in the end it was Dynamic Racing Team on 123 points, from Nuke Shot Motorsports 112, and Saxton managing to take the bronze trophy for the team standings with 48. This has been Dynamic Racing League's DTM Season 1. Thanks for watching.